Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, April 28th. It is 6:23 right now. Market is going to open in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple things here to update, and we should be good to go. More things here. Looks good. All right, solid. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium, and we should be good to go. All right, perfect. Link sent out. Looks like we are ready to get started. I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And we should be good to go. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. I'll get a few moments for people to join. Today is Friday, April 28th. So happy Friday, everyone. It's 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. Yeah, we'll see what the market looks like on open. Let me see if there's anything else here for me to look at before we continue. And I think we're pretty much good to go. All right, let me go and check news real quick. So over here on the news calendar, see Friday, April 28th, we got Eurogroup meeting that's all day. We had news at 5:30, high impact, GDP, core PCE price index, employment cost index, personal income, personal spending, etc. And then Chicago PMI at 6:45 and revised UOM consumer sentiment at 7 o'clock. So we had news over here at 5:30. I'm going to go ahead and mark that up real quick, so that we're aware of what happened earlier this morning. Obviously, it's the one with the huge spike right there. We have news again at 6:45, I believe, Chicago PMI. And then we have news over here at 7 o'clock as well for consumer sentiment. All right, so basically like some inflation news this morning, Chicago PMI, inflation news, and then also revised UOM consumer sentiment as well. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. Looking over here at my FX book, let me see if there's anything else here that came up today. 5:30, 6:45, 7, 8. It's fine. We're not going to trade after 8 today. Looks good. So that's pretty much all the news from this morning. Let me check CNBC real quick, see if there's anything here for us to look at. Nothing really, but looking pre-market, the Dow is currently down 104 points, S&P is down 7 points, Nasdaq's down 7 points, oil is down or up less than a percentage point, and the 10-year bond is currently down 3%. So nothing too crazy here. I mean, for us to really look at, there's not really too much going on. I'll just mark up the high right there. Also mark out the low. So price is realistically just ranging right now, not really too much going on. We'll go over here to the clean chart real quick. Mark up opening price 6:30. Mark up 8 o'clock right there. Mark up the zone right there and the zone down here. So there's not really too much going on. Market's kind of slow right now. It's kind of just ranging right now, but we'll see what happens when market opens. I think market will open pretty pretty hectic because there's news this morning. So you guys can see the big spike, this big candle right here. I think price is going to either correct back up and just fill a gap, or it's going to it's going to spike around a bit. So I don't think it's going to be a smooth open at all. We'll see what happens shortly. Here's the other chart that we're using for the SR zones. So I'm going to mark these up right here too. I'm probably going to leave that big zone alone because that one's just a huge zone. It just overlaps with too much, so it's not necessarily going to be useful for us. I'll just mark up these regular zones over here. That make more sense. And I think we're good to go. All right. So those are the SR zones right there. Kind of messy market right now, but it's expected. So, all right, guys, market is opening in about 30 seconds. Here are the markups on the chart so far. Not really too much going on. I'll just clean this up a little bit because we have a new area up there. The market is now opening in about 20 seconds. All right, who's here so far? Let's see, morning Maria, morning Dan, morning Brian, morning Ben Hartwig, morning Karen, morning Kenny, morning CJ, morning David, morning Johnny, morning Daniel, morning Martha, morning Stern, morning Christian, morning guys. So happy Friday, guys. Market is now open. There goes opening bell. We'll see where the market goes right here. As I mentioned on open, market's probably going to move kind of crazy on this opening candle or around the first opening candles because of the news this morning. News candles right here, this big spike at 5:30. You guys can see here on the clean chart. So this is basically where the news candle happened. So this is why you might see a little bit of some crazy movement on open because of this. So as we get started, let's take a look at, well, I mean, there's no entry we can take here because we're looking for a sell signal. Price already broke and closed past the pivot, so it wouldn't matter. There's no entry here for a high level momentum scalp. Let's take a look at the bigger picture. So let's take a look at fundamentals first. I'll refresh this. For fundamentals over here, the Dow's currently down 56 points. S&P is currently down 4 points. NASDAQ's down 13 points. Russell 2K is up 20 points. And the VIX is currently down less than a percentage point. So with this said, we have a neutral fundamental bias right here. Let's take a look at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 66% short. So this is indicating that 66% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we currently have a bullish bias here. So bullish bias here, neutral bias here. Looking over here at the technicals, let's take a look at the technicals real quick. Technicals over here are currently bullish, it looks like. So short-term technicals over here are bullish neutral. 1 minute's bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 10 minute over here is neutral. It's right in between the pivots, but it's attempting to shift to the upside. Looking over here on the 30 minutes, currently bullish right now. 1 hour is bullish, and the 4 hour here is pretty much neutral. So it's pretty much bullish neutral for technicals, neutral for fundamentals, and it is bullish for retail sentiment. So it looks like we might be looking for buys today, or we might be inclined to look for buys. I mean, we'll see where it ends up going, but right now specifically, we don't have any entries, but we're probably going to be looking for some buys here. Price keeps pushing up higher. So as price continues to push up higher, I'll establish new higher highs. But there's no entries for us to take right now specifically. There's no V1 variations. There's no high-low scalps. There's not really anything going on right here. So we're just going to wait, see where this ends up going. But for the moment, we currently have a higher high that's looking to be established. If price decides to come back down, we can possibly have a sell entry. But yeah, we just don't have much going on right here. We have this candle going to close in about 17 seconds. Once this candle closes, I'll mark up a new high area right there. But for the moment, we just don't have anything here just yet. We have about 4 seconds left in this candle. So there goes the new high. So there's the higher high right there. We'll see if price drops down below. If price corrects back down below and provides a sell signal, it'll be a possible sell entry for us to take here. Yeah, there's just nothing for us to take right now. Price just keeps pushing up higher, so we're just gonna leave this alone. I mean, possible rejection point might be right here off this higher high. Price might just reject directly off that and come back down, but we'll see. Looks like price is still pushing up higher. So it's doing pretty much what we anticipated this morning. Pre-market, I mentioned the market was gonna move kind of crazy on the first couple candles. We're 3 candles in, and price is pushed up about 600 pips. It's all based off the crazy movement right here on open. You guys can see the pre-market news right here at 5:30. A lot of people are reacting to the news. Let me check the calendar real quick. Yeah, so the news this morning was actually a bit higher. It's positive. So on open right here, a lot of people are just reacting to the news. So people didn't react to the news till open. Market open right now about 4 minutes ago, and people are reacting to the good news here. I don't know if it'll hold, but we'll see if it ends up holding. It is pushing up pretty strong though. So we will just have to wait and see where this ends up going. Let's see, Madhu's asking, would you have considered the previous candle strong for the breakout? Let's see, 633. I think you're talking about this candle right here, right? The 632 candle, Madhu, right? For me personally, I wouldn't, I don't know, let me go back real quick. Let me refresh it. No, so I wouldn't consider that strong. The wick on the top is just a little too big. It's about like 60 pips. And the body down below is about it's about double the size. I don't know. It's kind of because the thing is the candle was moving kind of strong. So it's easier to identify and kind of, I guess, analyze it after. But when it was moving very volatile. So I don't know if it was like kind of like almost full on close and then just dropped down at the last second. If that was the case, Madhu, then I probably would have taken it because it does look like it could have been stronger if the wick was a bit smaller. So if like you were waiting for the countdown of the last like 5-10 seconds and the candle was like up here, I probably would have taken it. But right now, since the candle already closed, it's different because we're not really in a rush to analyze it, and it's a little different to identify. So for me personally, I think the wick's too big looking at it from here, but I think looking at it live, you see how strong these candles are moving? Like this candle right here was basically a full candle, and then at the last second, it just pulled down. So if that was the case, I probably would have taken it for this one right here for the breakout. And also, I probably would have wanted to take it to Madhu because of the bias, right? Because the sentiment, or let's see, the fundamentals here are pretty much neutral, so this is not really useful to us. But the sentiment here is very strong, 66% short, and then also the technicals over here are very bullish. So with that said, putting all that into consideration, I probably would have taken it, even if it like didn't necessarily close super strong after the fact. Yeah, no problem, Madhu. Yeah, that's kind of why we don't apply the breakout anymore. The breakout's still a good strategy. Like it's still good if you know how to apply it, you know what to look for. But majority of people aren't able to identify things like that too quickly because it happens too fast. So you really have to just think if you feel confident about the position and it looks like a good candle, then you would just enter it right away. Majority of people can't do that though, because it's not a beginner friendly strategy. That's why I typically don't like teaching it, because I don't want people to get too greedy and then end up blowing their account doing something that they're not capable of just yet. All right, so let's see where this ends up going. We currently have the higher high right there. If we get a sell signal that breaks and closes past the pivots over here, then we'll have a possible entry for a sell. So we'll see where that ends up going. I personally would be looking, I'd rather look for a buy, but we'll see what happens here. I just marked it up to see where it's currently at. But of course, I personally would prefer to take a buy. Price is so far from these zones, we're definitely not going to get any of these SR scalps here anytime soon. Let's keep away from that chart. Here's the clean chart. Markup opening price. All right, so if price does come back down, target price point for return is going to be the opening price right there. That's typically always going to be the target price point whenever price pushes away so far. Big push away, retracement correction is going to be opening price right there. That might happen, that might not happen. I mean, who knows? It's really going to be hard to tell because the bias here is very strong for a buy. So I don't know if it'll drop that far back down. But if it does drop that far back down, that's typically where it would go. All right, so looking at current price right here, as I mentioned, guys, if we get a sell signal that breaks and closes past pivots 1 and 2 right here, we may have a possible entry. The thing that I don't want to happen here is that I want price to consolidate. So you can see right here, our price is consolidating. If this is the case and price continues to go sideways, then I'm not going to take the trade. It's not looking too good right here. It looks like price is going to consolidate. And yeah, just establish a new higher high here. So there's not going to be any entry here for us. There's no V2, V1 variations here, guys, because there's no pending buy signal. There's currently a buy signal that's currently running at the moment. So there's nothing for us to take right now specifically. This might be an SR rejection scalp entry, though. If it closes a strong green candle, yeah. So you guys can see right here, rejected off the zone right here. There's actually a big zone right here that I didn't really draw up. It's just so messy. I'll just update it real quick. So I'm not in the position, but I was going to avoid this big candle right here. But since, I mean, price is already up here, it's kind of hard to avoid it. You can't just avoid it because it's part of it. It really is part of the zoned area. So I'll just leave it alone right there. I just don't like when the zones are so big because you can see right here, it just doesn't look right? Because there's so many, it's just a huge zone. I mean, it makes sense if you like were to use it and you go on the higher time frames or something like that, like the 10 or something. You guys can see right here that the rejection points, they make sense, right? Because price does come down and this is a huge rejection area, but on the 1 minute, it's just too messy. So not in this position. I just marked it up for you guys to see. But this chart here is basically going to be used to identify any possible SR rejection scalps. As we get closer to the summer and market moves sideways, that's going to be the strategy of choice. So I'll just leave it up there, but did not take any entry there. We're still looking for any high level momentum scalps here that we don't currently have. We have a new higher high right here. So we're just looking for that top to be established because price is way overextended. It's pushed up over 1,000 pips. From this low right here. So from this area down here at the lower low, price is pushed up 1,200 pips. So we're looking for that top to get established somewhere over here and identify a correction back to the downside. So right here, we have a higher high. If price pushes down and closes below these two pivots with the sell signal, then that's going to be indication that price is going to either retrace or correct back down. If that's the case, then we're going to have an entry for a high level momentum scalp, which we don't currently have right now. But if we do have one, that's going to be the setup that we're looking for. So we have it setting up right here. As you guys can see, higher high, candles are starting to drop back down. We just need that sell signal to break and close past the pivots below here. And this is going to give us opportunity to look for multiple entries because we'll look for a possible swing back to the downside for a high level momentum scalp. And then when price comes back down here, if we get a V1 variation down here, we can ride that back up, right? So it's basically like a 2-for-1. That's why I mentioned that the V1 variations go hand in hand with the high level momentum scalps. Because if you have a bias, right now we have a strong bullish bias. That's basically what we're looking for as price continues to move along. So let's see, Medusa, thanks. I was just going to ask if there's any news today. Yeah, there's news right here, guys. High impact news right here at 6:45, where I have the blue line marked up, and then right here at 7 o'clock. They're both inflation news. We have Chicago PMI, and then I believe, let me check what else we have. Yeah, we have Chicago PMI at 645. It's high impact, and then revised UM consumer sentiment at 7 o'clock. So we might have an entry right here, but it's really close to news, guys. It's high impact news, so I'm not going to take any trades right now. It's just too close. Typically, we disregard news, but this is like high impact news. It's not like some low impact news. So I'm expecting price to maybe spike back down or spike back up. It's inflation news. I'm not expecting the news to be good. So if the price does go where it's supposed to go, regarding news, it's probably going to come down. That's where it should go, but it doesn't mean that it's going to go that way. So just keep that in mind, guys. I never trade news like that because that's just gambling, right? If you trade news like that, especially a high impact news like this, Chicago PMI, you're either going to be really happy or you're going to be really mad, because you're going to be upset that you took a risky trade, or you're going to be really happy that you got lucky taking a risky trade. So I don't recommend trading right here, guys, but if it does what it needs to do, what it's supposed to do, I think it's going to come down. It's either going to spike down and then it's going to spike right back up, or it's going to do the opposite, spike up and then spike back down. I don't think it's going to be a smooth move at all. So just be careful, guys, if you guys do decide to trade this. I don't recommend it. I'm just going to watch it. It's better when you're watching it and you don't have a trade in, because you're not really stressed out. You don't really care too much about it. But I don't think it's going to be a smooth push. So we'll see. I mean, the inflation is not supposed to be good, but we'll just see where it ends up going. So we have a new higher high right here. News right there at 7 o'clock. Just keep in mind that today's Friday, guys. If you guys forgot, today is Friday. Friday is one of the riskier days to trade, Friday and Monday. A lot of people are exiting the market on Friday, and we have high impact news today. So we'll see where this takes us. News candle is coming up in about 10 seconds. All right, here's the news candle right here. I'm going to go and mark up news price. There goes. People start to react to the news. Let's check the news real quick. So Chicago PMI was actually very positive. Okay, so it was actually really good. I wasn't expecting it to be good news because we are going into this recession, but there we go. They were forecasting it to be negative too. So they're right here. Last month was 43.8. They were forecasting it to be 43.6. It was actually 48.6. So it was a lot higher than they expected. That's why I don't trade news, guys, because you don't really know what's going to happen. Like news, you can't really predict news. It comes out like they'll forecast it to be negative and then it ends up being super positive. So that's why I never trade news. And we'll see if this ends up holding. I don't think it's going to hold. I think it's going to retrace back down. We do have more news over here at 7 o'clock, though, so just keep that in mind. All right, we have that new higher high kind of established right there. We'll see if it pushes up higher or if it comes back down from right here. So price, the retracement hasn't happened yet. You guys can see right here, huge bullish push, but the retracement is bound to happen eventually. Price can't push up forever, right? You guys know that. So if you look over here, so this is the clean chart. If you measure it from down here up to where it's currently at, this thing's pushed up about almost 2,000 pips without any real retracement. So the retracement is going to happen eventually. A lot of people are reacting to the news. They're just bandwagoning onto these buys. I wouldn't do that because you already know what happens when you bandwagon into a buy like that. Price is way overextended. Eventually, price is going to have to pull back to some extent, right? I'm expecting like maybe a 500 pip retracement. So let me just mark it up right here. Yeah, this seems like a decent retracement, right? 500 pips. So if it retraces back, it's going to retrace back at least like to some extent. I don't know when it'll happen, but it's eventually going to happen. You can see some of the retracement happen right here, but it wasn't a full retracement. It was just consolidation. Price pushed up, retraced down a little bit, maybe like 300 pips, then shot back up. So I'm expecting at least this much of a retracement to happen, if and when it does happen. All right, price is rejecting off the sessions right here. This might be the area of it to retrace. Typically, it's going to retrace off these areas here, these sessions. Double body right there, reversal pattern. Let's see if this here closes. If it does close, it looks like it might retrace down a little bit. All right, I'll leave that up right there. Guys, I'm going to step away for 1 second. I'm going to grab some water and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Let me go and update this real quick. There's a new higher high that just kind of got established right here. Projecting directly off the session, so this looks like a possible swing to the downside. Looking at this right here, we currently have the sell signal that's pending. If it breaks and closes past the pivots, possible entry. But again, you guys have to wait for the actual candle to close because this might not be holding for too long. See, Mr. Gibbs is asking what trade copy are you using? I use social trader tools. That's the only copier I've used. I've been using them for a couple of years now. They're pretty good. So the only downside is you have to pay for them per account, but they're good and they're useful. So if you're looking for one to use, that one's the one that I personally use. All right, so there's no entry here, guys. There's a possible V1 variation here though, setting up. So, but there's no entry here because the sell signal didn't break and close past the pivots, but there's possibly a V1 variation that's setting up right there. Yeah, about 20 seconds left on this candle right here. There's no entry for a high-low momentum scalp. The candle did not close like it was supposed to. Well, it didn't come down below the pivots. So there's a possible V1 variation right here that just set up. Guys are looking to take it. Looks like it's pushing up right there. Yeah, nothing else right here right now. So let me take a look at the fundamentals. Fundamentals are currently, so they're currently up 24 points. So they're still kind of neutral right now, but they are up 24 points. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 68% short. So the buys here is still looking good. Looking over here on the technical side, they're still very bullish. It's just overextended. So that's the downside and the risky part of trading right here for where it's currently at, because the 1 minute here is very bullish, 5 minutes very bullish, 10 minutes very bullish. The reason why I can say that is because price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up on the 1, 5, and 10. Looking over here on the 30 minute, it's very bullish as well. Price above the pivots, trend meter green, pivots angling up. Same with here on the 1 hour. So everything here is pretty much very bullish at the moment. The only problem here is that price is super overextended. So that's the thing that you guys want to be careful for, because it's due for retracement. It has to retrace back at some point, like I mentioned. That's why I'm kind of just sitting out and waiting for, for something here to actually happen, because there's nothing really going on right here. Price is kind of just consolidating a bit. That's why I drew this extra line right here on this chart. So I like to draw this area here. I like to draw the lower low as the support area, the higher high as the resistance. And then if there's new higher lows in between, I just draw that so that you guys can see the consolidation phase. So you can see right here, price is pretty much just consolidating sideways. When price consolidates like this, a lot can happen, right? When price consolidates like this, price can either continue back up pretty strong or it's going to retrace down. It's just you don't have a really good understanding as to where price is going to really go. So that's why you want to be a little careful about taking certain entries like this here, because it's in the middle ground. You typically want to take trades when they're continuing in one direction. For example, if price continues this way, then great. You look for buys. You'd probably take your buy when there's a confirmation that price is going to continue up here. And then vice versa, if you're looking for a sell, you would do the opposite, right? If price is coming down like that, you would just look for the confirmation that price is likely to continue in that direction. Right here in the middle, there's not really much that you can do here, right? Because price is either going to go one way or the other. But it's really up to, it's really hard to tell because you can't really predict where price is going to go, right? You can assume price is going to go one way or the other, but to actually, predict when price is not really doing anything, that's where it becomes very difficult. So see where this ends up going from where it's currently at. Actually took partial of the V1 variation right here, guys. Once I was looking at my MC4 screen, it kept hitting my TP. So it actually hit my TP a couple times. Or it got close to it actually. So it was like flickering on my MC4 right here at my TP area. I just pulled out right now. I locked in, let's see. I could have just held on to it, but it's all good. I'm not going to risk it because I was literally explaining to you guys here that, yeah, and it blasted right through the TP. What's going on here? Okay, that's weird. So I'm looking up here. My MFF gave me negative 100. I don't know what's up with MFF, guys. It's starting to get more and more annoying as we progress. But so I'm looking over here at my copier. I'll take a screenshot of my accounts. There's a lot of slippage here, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. So let me just show you guys real quick. Let me screenshot this over there. Okay, so if you guys look over here in the premium chat, you guys will see that my FT1 number 1 gave me 1,100. My FT1 number 2 gave me 500. That's understandable slippage right there. But my MFF gave me negative 100. And then my third MFF didn't even execute. So I don't know what's going on. The third MFF was executing yesterday perfectly fine. Let me check my settings real quick. I'm pretty sure it's the same. I don't change anything here. Yeah, everything looks like it should have worked. But for whatever reason, my MFF number 3 did not. Wait. Okay, never mind. I take that back. So I'm looking over here at my email confirmations. It looks like my MFF did execute, but it gave me 0. So, okay, it did execute, but my third MFF gave me 0. My MFF number 1 and 2 gave me negative 100. My FT1 number 1 gave me 1,100, and my FT1 number 2 gave me 500. So a lot of crazy slippage right there, which I'm kind of surprised because price wasn't really moving. When I exited right here, price was pretty much flat. It was just stuck at that area. But for whatever reason, I ended up getting stuck with that slippage right there. I mean, it's all good. It happens. But I just want to give you guys a heads up. That's not an official trade. Obviously, I made profit on it. I showed you guys my profit, but these profits are not going to count towards official trades. The only official trades that we're looking for here are going to be the high-level momentum scalps. Obviously, I'm going to be taking other trades if I see them and they look good. But for the most part, these are the official trades that we're going to be documenting. So you guys will see I'll be making profits here and there, applying the V1 variation. I've been mentioning to you guys that the V1, V2 variations go hand in hand with the high-level momentum scalps. Because like, for example, here we have a higher high, price pushes down below, that's retracement, right? And then if you get a V1 variation, that's a correction back to the upside. So if you have a strong trend or a strong bias in one direction, then you can use them interchangeably. So you can use the high level momentum scalp to catch the retracement, and then you can catch the V1 variation as a correction back to the upside. Right now, we have a strong bullish bias. As I mentioned over here, this is pretty much neutral right now with regard to fundamentals because they're not above 100 points. But looking over here on the retail sentiment, this is very strong. It's 68% short. So it's a no-brainer to take buys right here, right? 68% short. You want to do the opposite. It's very strong on the sell side for retail traders. It's very bullish for market makers. So obviously, I'm going to be looking to take buys today. But yeah, for the most part, I just want to show you guys that right there. A couple more profits here from you guys. Kenny took the buy there as well. Total profit of 460. He actually took the breakout. His timestamp right here was 633. So Kenny over here took the breakout earlier this morning. Full TP on that one. Nice work, Kenny. Christian over here took the buy right now that we just took. So you can see the timestamp here. He took the breakout. He also took the trade that I just took right here with the V1 variation. Total profit of 865 for the day. All wins. Nice work right there, Christian. So it looks like a lot of you guys here actually took it. Eunice over here as well. He took the buy right there. You can see the timestamp 656. He took the same V1 variation I just took. Total profit of 6501 for the day. Nice work, Eunice. And then we have Maddie over here also. Maddie said, Blue Streak boys, total profit of 935 for the day. All wins. Maddie over here took the sell earlier when price came down. And then he also took the V1 variation right here at 651. Total profit of 935 for the day. So great work right there, Maddie. So as you guys can see, I give you guys pretty detailed analysis. If you guys can listen to my analysis and understand what I'm kind of explaining to you guys, you can add those on top of your official trades, right? There's no official trades today because there's nothing that's come up, but I'm literally giving you guys a breakdown of like what's happening on the chart. If you guys are paying attention and actually think about it, then you guys can take certain trades that come up, even though they're not official. So, I mean, I can't tell you guys exactly, you know, what's to take or what's not to, but you guys, if you guys put in the work and actually pay attention, you guys can make profits on the side, basically side bets. That's what I would consider them. If you guys are taking other strategies or other entries here based off my analysis that are not official, then you just consider those like side bets, right? It's like if you're gambling in a casino or something, right? You're doing the main bet and then you have these side bets on the side, because I mean, basically my analysis typically does play out. So if you guys can use that to your advantage, you know, you have a bigger edge in the market. So like, for example, right now, I'm mainly looking here for buys because everything here is pretty much bullish. So if you have any side bets here for buys, typically they're going to play out. There's a double body right here, but this is not a V1 variation. I know a lot of you guys ask about that. In order for it to be a V1 variation, you need to have a pending buy signal. There's a buy signal right here, so there's no entry for you to take at the moment. But yeah, at the moment, we have nothing right now. Still looking for certain buys here to come up, but if we don't get that and we get a sell, that's completely fine too. We have a new higher high here getting established, 17 seconds left on the candle. We'll see if it comes back down, but we're going to take it as is. You know, as a reminder, guys, Friday is one of the riskier days to trade, so you want to be careful trading on this day, because typically Friday, a lot of people are exiting the markets. You might get some random spike down. People are just selling off before the weekend. And then on Monday, you have the opposite, people buying in. Hey T, how's it going? Mr. Gibbs said, currently in a challenge on MFF. They're killing me. Yeah, I know the spread and execution times are just horrible on MFF right now, Gibbs. They've been like that for like the past couple of months, which is, I mean, it's super annoying, but can't really do nothing about it. That's why I never recommend you guys do MFF first. I always recommend you guys do FTMO. And then once you've maxed out your FTMO allocation, then move on to something like MFF. But I don't know, it seems like MFF is kind of going downhill right now with their new server settings. So I'll keep using MFF until I can't. And then from there, I'll probably try and look for other funding companies. But if you guys have noticed, a lot of funding companies are not good for scalping. So it's hard for us to find another one that's actually good. Like MFF they have execution time issues, spread issues, and they also have a lot size cap limit, which sucks. It's good for the intraday trader, but not necessarily for the scalper, because you can't really leverage as much as you would like for these smaller moves. All right, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. As CJ said, MFF is taking kickbacks on your account, Sean. I know, right? They used to give me more profit before. So MFF before, I would get slippage, but it'd be in my favor. And now it's not in my favor. So yeah, I could see that as being a kickback, CJ. I mean, it goes full circle, so it's all good. I made a lot of profit on MFF in the past, and it was like their fault. So they're getting some kickback right now, pretty much tightening up my spread and my execution times. It's all good. I mean, as long as they pay out, I'm okay with them. But if they start to do something weird and they stop paying out or they start having issues, then at that point, I'll probably start looking for another solution. You can't really complain to these companies though, guys. So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of you guys get really upset with these funding companies, but you can't really complain to them because you sign an agreement. When you guys get funded, you sign an agreement. You basically adhere to all of their policies. So if you complain to them and they don't like you, they'll just blackball you, and then you can't use them anymore. So there's no point in complaining. Because once they blackball you, then you're just gonna have to find another funding company. So I think FTMO, you should never get blackballed by FTMO. They're going to be the main ones that you want to use. MFF is number 2, but I mean, we'll see what happens in the next couple of months. Typically, they start to make changes, but I don't know. There's so many funding companies out there. So, you know, a lot of these companies, sometimes they don't even make changes. They just let the complainers fall off and then they just continue doing what they're doing. Let's see. Maddie said MC4 is closed. Going to hang on the live for now. Sideways movement may break up to the top side, but can also be a fake out. Yeah, no, I see that too, Maddie. So price is still pushing up a little bit. I mean, there's no confirmation of like any certain, no specific movement here. I mean, price is kind of just going back and forth. Here is the, there's no zones up there. So there's literally not going to be any entries here. I'm just going to leave this chart alone. Price is way too overextended. I don't see any other zones coming up anytime soon. So I'm gonna clean this up right here. This is no longer going to be the high. New high is getting established here, but hasn't really closed yet. Here's a clean chart. Same with the clean chart here. As you guys can see, price is very overextended. So I'm just waiting for that pullback to happen. Hasn't happened yet, but it's eventually going to happen. There's no way you can push it. Like, let me see how far it's pushed up now. I don't think it'll push it more than 3,000 pips. I think 3,000 pips is like, that's a cap size for it. So let's see, we got the low right here. All right, it's getting close to it. It's at 2,370 pips up already. I think the cap for this would probably be like, this is way too, like it's way too high right there, right? 3,000 pips. I think 3,000 pips is like super overextension. So from down here, this is at 530, the news candle, and price is pushing up. So I think anywhere around this area, the retracement will happen. And it's probably going to retrace at least like 500 pips. At least, like, I think that's the minimum. So you can see over here, price retraced down a little bit. It didn't retrace down fully, just kind of consolidated. So right here, the retracement happened. It didn't really go down a full 500 pips. It went down maybe like 400 pips or 300 pips right there. It's kind of similar to what happened right here. It's the same thing. Price retraced from this area right here. It came down like, 200 pips or so, and then it just continued up higher. So we'll see. I mean, price is due for retracement. It has to retrace at some point. There's a double body rejection or double wick rejection right here. This may be the retracement. We got a reversal pattern setting up right there. Not one I would take personally. I would look for the reversal on the bottom side and correction back up. That's what I'd look for. I wouldn't take the reversal from the top. It's too risky. The momentum to the upside is just too strong. So I wouldn't go against the trend right now. The trend and the bias. The trend is very strong for a buy, and then also the bias right now is very strong for a buy as well. So not exactly the best time to predict the market, because price looks like it's going to keep pushing up at least a little bit higher. Hasn't really reached that threshold that I mentioned yet. So let's take a look at the fundamentals again. Fundamentals are currently up 100 points. So we have the fundamental bias now. So we have a bullish bias with regard to fundamentals. We have a bullish bias with regard to retail sentiment, 68% short right now. And then we have the technicals here. So like literally everything here is pointing towards a buy, but I'm looking for that retracement. So even though price is pushing up right here, I'm looking for price to retrace down a little bit. And then when it swings back up higher, then I'm going to be looking for some possible entry at that point. But right now, there's just nothing for us to take at the moment. Price is just pushing up super, super heavy right now. Nice. So I had a UJ position running earlier too. I took this on my own. Yeah, so I've been drawing this kind of the setup here as well. Took a UJ position here on the 10-minute. I saw the rejection V1 variation. So right here on UJ, I still trade Forex, guys. I just trade it on my own. I don't really give out signals anymore because I just feel like it's too much work. I don't really I try to do the bare minimum. So I saw the V1 variation right here on the 10-minute. I saw it also setting up over here on 30. I just saw a bunch of V1s setting up on multiple time frames right here. And then I ended up taking the buy there. So I took it there for a quick like 300 profit off Forex. So as you guys can see, my strategies work on pretty much anything. If you guys can't trade US30 or you don't like trading US30, the same strategies work on Forex too. It works on Forex, it works on gold, it works on everything. You just have to learn the strategies. So I still trade other stuff, guys. I just on these live sessions, I trade US30, but for the most part, outside the live sessions, I'm still taking like Forex trades because they last longer. I take them on the 10-minute time frame and I just set and forget them. See how much I made. And the reason why I like trading Forex on TradingView is because I have a Forex.com account. I can trade directly on here. So I can just hit buy and I can enter my trade here while I'm still analyzing US30. So my recommended Forex broker is going to be Forex.com. So you can trade directly on TradingView. I mean, they're all right. See how much I made on that trade. History. Nice, made 339. Yeah, not too bad. Quick little profit for UJ. All right, so there's nothing going on over here, guys. Price is still pushing around at this area. All right, we have the new higher high right there. I don't know if this will hold, but nope. No hold there yet. So that's pretty much all the news events for today. It's 7:11 right now. We still have a lot of time up until 8. Our price is still pushing up higher. So let's go back over here again. Let me measure it to see where price is now currently at. So from this low, price is currently up past 300 pips. It's way overextended now. So as you guys can see, there's some areas of consolidation right here. But it's super overextended, as you guys can see. So price pushed up right here from this low end, retraced down, pushed up higher, retraced down, pushed up higher. And it's going to establish a high at some point where it's going to have to come down. Maddie said the sellers are crying. So yeah, this is crazy. So like, check this out, guys. Remember how I mentioned looking at retail sentiment? There's a bunch of people here trying to predict the high. That's why I say don't predict it, right? A lot of retail traders here are just entering sells. It's now 69% short, which blows my mind because everything here is telling me to take a buy, but a bunch of people are trying to catch that top point right there. So if more people keep chasing these sells, I think price will just keep pushing up higher and higher. That's why it hasn't came down yet, because so many retail traders here are like, they're trying to predict the top, which I think price will just keep pushing up at this point because they're just going to keep stopping them out. So, I mean, we'll see where this ends up going, but this tool is a very strong tool. So you know where not to trade. Like if I see everybody on the sell side, I'm definitely not going to enter a sell. I'm going to wait for price to retrace and I'm going to look for the correction back to the upside. But yeah, the sentiment right here is very, very strong for a sell. I think this might retrace down slightly and it'll just keep pushing up higher and higher. So we'll see. But yeah, you just don't want to be on the wrong side of the market. You want to be on the side of the market makers and institutions. You don't want to be on the retail side because it's just, it's just interesting here to see all these people entering sells, but then price just keeps going up. It's kind of like, I forgot what that saying is. Like that thing where like people are like, basically someone's like, if you keep getting burnt doing something, don't keep doing it, but people keep doing it. They're trying to catch this, this top right here. We'll see where this ends up coming as it pushes around. So if we get a high level momentum here, this may push down slightly and then it may swing right back up. You just want to be careful with this high level momentum because if you do enter a sell here, you're going to be on the retail side because all the retail traders are currently selling. It's now 70%. You guys can see the numbers here are very high. I'm probably going to sit off on this high level momentum scalp, guys, personally, because the sentiment here is just way too strong. I don't even think we'll even get one. So personally, I think we're not going to get one. I think what will happen here is we might get a sell signal, but it's not going to close down this far below. I think it might close down partially, but I don't think it's going to close down this far. This is a pretty far push from where it's currently at. Looks like price is just going to consolidate a bit right here. It's just too risky. And hopefully you guys understand why it's risky. It's just there's too many retail traders on the sell side. I definitely don't want to be with the retail traders right now. We are retail traders, but you got to think differently. You can't be thinking like everybody else. If you're thinking to take a sell here and like 70% of other people are thinking, okay, I'm going to take a sell too, the market makers can do the complete opposite. They're going to stop everybody out. So you just got to be smart about it. I know there's strategies that we apply, but you just can't be dumb about trading, right? You have to like actually analyze it and make sure that it's actually going to be a good entry. Because right here does not look like a good entry to me. Okay, so now looking at where price is currently at, It's consolidating, obviously, right? I'm not going to take the sell here. As I mentioned before, guys, for these high-low momentum scalps, if price starts to consolidate sideways, then I'm definitely not going to be looking for any entries there. There's just no point because, as I mentioned earlier, when price consolidates like this, it's going to break out up or down, right? And if I'm looking at retail sentiment over here and it's 70% short, where do I think price is going to break out? I think it's going to break out to the upside. So here's the thing that you guys want to look out for. If anybody's entering a sell right here, where's their stop loss typically going to be? It's going to be right here at the high, right? So whoever's entering a sell at this point, like literally everybody's placing their stop loss right here. So there's a bunch of stop losses just sitting right here. So what do you think is going to happen if price continues to push up? If price pushes up, the market maker is going to push price to this area, and everybody who's entering sells right here, they're going to get stopped out, right? And if they get stopped out, then what's going to happen here? Price is just going to break into a new area. It's going to push up a little higher, and it's going to keep doing what it's been doing. So keep an eye out for this area right here. If price reaches this point right here, if it breaks past the zone, then you're probably going to see a stop loss hunt. You're going to see a lot of people get stopped out, and it's not going to look good for whoever's here on the sell. Yeah, exactly. Madhu said it's counterintuitive. Yeah, you definitely want to be careful with taking sells here because it's counterintuitive, just like Madhu said. It looks like it could possibly be coming down, but this here could just be another trap, right? So you can see right there, we have pending sell signals that have come up in the past 3 candles, pending sell signal here, pending sell signal here, pending sell signal here, but no real confirmation that it's going to hold. Let's see. City's asking MFF is my Forex funds or my Forex or my funded FX. I've never heard of my funded FX, City. I'm referring to MFF as my Forex funds. So I've never heard of that second one before. All right, there's no entries here, guys. We're still looking for possible entry here. Let me go ahead and mark up the high. So we got the high right there. And what I'll do right here is I'll mark up this low as well. All right, so let's just maximize this right here. As you guys can see, this is the range that I was just referring to. It's not a good area to trade in. It's just going sideways. So I think right here, they're going to churn it. They're just going to make it go sideways until there's enough retail traders on the sell side. So right now it's at 70%. I think if this number increases to 71, 72, then they'll spike price up to stop everybody out. You know, these market makers are greedy. They're not just going to push it up and then make a little bit of money. They're going to wait for some more retail traders here to enter, and then they're going to make a lot of money because each percentage point is like a lot of traders. So it's currently at 70%, and we'll see what happens in the next couple minutes. But I think they're going to churn it here. They're just going to churn it, go sideways for a bit, let more retail traders enter the sell. Because what happens here? Like a lot of people will look at this and they'll think, okay, this is the top. Price has to come down, right? They think price has to come down, let price go down a little bit. Once there's enough retail traders on this side, they spike price up, stop everybody out. You guys have seen that before. It happens. I'm sure it's happened to you once or twice before in the past, maybe like even more times. It's happened to me for sure. So I know this, I've seen this trap happen, you know, more than enough times than I need to avoid getting caught in it again. So just be smart about your positions, guys. I would probably hold off on sells because the retail sentiment is just super high. 70% short, looking over here at the technicals or fundamentals, actually. Fundamentals are currently up 138 points. Everything's telling me to take a buy here. So I'm not looking to take any sells right now specifically, unless it's a very quick and short move. Fundamentals are up 133 points. Whenever it's above 100 points, that's a bullish fundamentals. Looking over here at retail sentiment, again, it's 70% short. This indicates that 70% of retail traders are selling. Market makers are typically going to do the opposite. And then looking over here at the technical side, everything's super bullish. So not looking to get caught in this trap here. Okay, there's a possible V1 variation, it looks like. No, so there's no low there, but there's a sell signal that came up. So there's no entry for us for a high-low momentum scalp. There may be a possible push to the upside from here, but we'll see where it ends up going. Yeah, so no entries here yet, guys. Okay, so price is pushing up right here. Again, what I mentioned to look out for, guys, will be a possible push to the upside right here to stop everybody out that's on the sell side. I mean, yeah, just looking at where it's currently at right now, I think price will push up. There's a pivot scalp that's currently running right here. There's a buy signal. It's above the pivots, trend meters green, everything's bullish. So this is a pivot scalp entry right here if you guys are looking for that. I know some of you guys still apply that entry. It went straight to full TP already right there. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone caught the pivot scalp. Some of you guys have been asking about this entry over the past couple of weeks. I know City, you mentioned this yesterday. It still works. I mean, there's a pivot scalp entry here. Everything's bullish. So this would actually be an entry for a pivot scalp. You know, as I mentioned, if you guys are looking for those types of entries, where's the pivot scalp at? 1 minute pivot scalp. Confirm overall bias. Everything's bullish. Confirm valid momentum signal for a buy. Valid buy signal there. Price is above the pivots. That'd be a pivot scalp. So we'll see where this ends up going. I mean, price is still going sideways right here. There's no entry for us to take here at the moment. It's just a sideways move. Not really too much here. Looks like the market makers are still playing with the retail traders right now. So, I mean, it's really just going sideways. Here's the other chart that I marked up. It's just ranging. Same range from earlier. Looks like they're still giving these retail traders some hope that price is going to drop, but I think they're just churning it, like I mentioned. Still 70%. Nothing's really going on here. They can't just spike it up like, you know, all of a sudden, because if they spike it up right away, no one's going to keep trying to hop into these sells. So that's why price goes down a little bit, fakes out, comes right back up, comes right back down, goes right back up. I think eventually price will push up and stop a lot of these people out. 70% short. All right. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said market makers are probably putting in sell stops, luring people in and canceling their orders. Yeah, because if you guys look at the order flow, you can see when like big orders are pending. So I'll open the order flow right here. You guys can see the numbers right here. So you guys can see the orders that are pending. A lot of buys, a lot of sells. They just go back and forth because what they'll do is they'll place like big orders there, lure in some sellers, they'll cancel it, and the price will just end up going the opposite. Or they'll execute the opposite order. They'll have like a sell stop, but they'll actually market order like a big order, and then it'll just end up going up. But realistically, there's nothing going on here. Price is just going sideways. There's no higher, lower, low here. There's actually a new lower low that's established right here, actually. So now that I've seen this right here, there's actually a new lower low. I don't know how this will hold, but there is one right there. But there's nothing for us to take. The range is just getting tighter and tighter from where it's currently at. All right. So I don't know if we're going to get anything anytime soon, guys. It looks like the market's just going to keep going sideways. If there's any questions that you guys have, you know, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll keep analyzing and see if anything here kind of gives us hints of like where price is likely to go. My guess is that price is going to keep pushing up eventually. Right now, it's just going sideways, but I think eventually when it breaks out, it's going to keep climbing. The reason for that is because there's so many retail traders here on the sell side. You can see the number there increased, went from 70 to 71. And then it just dropped back to 71. It looks like a lot of people just pulled out. They just got scared and then pulled out of their sells there. Again, it's back up to 71%. You guys can see here it's changing. So there's something going on here with the retail traders. Some people are getting scared, pulling out early. Some people are just, they're over it. There, the number increased again of 71. So I actually want this number to increase because the more that it increases, the more likely it is that price is going to push up higher. So the retail can keep chasing that sell if they want, for all I care. They can just keep chasing it, and I'm hoping price will just push up higher and higher from where it's currently at. Maddie said, I have a feeling it'll just spike up soon. Yeah, I'm 71 now. They really want this sell. Exactly, yeah. So the retail is just piling up right here on the sell side. So that's why I kind of think price is going to keep climbing up higher. I mean, it's not doing anything right now, but I think eventually price will just go sideways. And I think randomly there's just going to be a spike up. There's going to be a lot of stop losses sitting right here though. So whoever is entering or whoever is like on the sell side, they're going to get stopped out once like the stop loss hunt plays out over here, which I do expect it to play out sometime soon. It's pushing up higher right there. Let's see if it continues to push up. Yes. So I actually took that pivot scalp right here, guys, and I just let it run and it went straight to my TP right now. So I was holding on to that pivot scalp from earlier. It's not going to count as an official trade. There's no official trades right now, but I took that pivot scalp that was right here. I actually entered it late and I got caught in it for a while. So I entered it late and I just held on to it, blasted right through to my TP right there. So it did exactly what we anticipated, right? It hit TP here, but then I got caught in it because I got in for like a slippage or, whatever, spread. So I was stuck in the position. It pulled back a little bit and I was like, okay, whatever. If it hits my stop loss, it's cool. But it ended up swinging right back up to where I anticipated. I knew price was going to go up, so I'm not looking for any sells here. There's a possible V1 variation right here that's setting up. Of course, I'm not going to take it because I'm not trying to be on the retail side. It's 71%. Like the retail traders really want this to go down, but I'm not going to be a sucker. And you guys shouldn't be a sucker either. So they'll get sucked into this here. You can see the number keeps changing because they keep getting stopped out. So it was 71%, it's 70%. What do you think happened? Whoever was entering the sell right here, and I can show you exactly what happened because I can see. So check this out. People are looking for the sell to come up right here, but you see a lot of people who want that tight stop loss, right? Everybody wants that super tight stop loss. So if they enter a sell right here, what do you think their stop loss is going to be? It's going to be at the swing high, right? 280 pips, not a bad stop loss. It's tight enough. So what do you think happened right here? It was at 71%. And I already told you guys this was what's going to happen. They're going to spike up and stop them out. Whoever stop losses are too close, they're going to get shaken out of this position. So whoever is entering the sell right here, their stop losses at that point, they let the trade run, stopped out, right? That's why that percentage changed. Because everyone places their stop loss in the same place. You guys have learned this before from like other people, not just from me, but from other people. People over here, they either place their stop loss at this swing high or they place it at this swing high right here, right? There's two different areas for stop losses. So with that said, you can see right here how price pushed up. When it pushed up, it got a little stop loss hunt right there, right? It spiked up right there, pulled back down, pushed up higher. The next area for stop loss hunts are going to be up here. So we'll see, where that ends up going. I just wanted to squeeze in another trade, guys, because I was really getting annoyed with that like MFF loss from earlier this morning. MFF still gave me like some very small partial profits, but it's all good. I'm in the positive now. So all my accounts are in positive now. I just have that. I don't know if you guys ever get that feeling. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys do, where you have like that one loss and it just bugs you because you want to have it in the positive. So here are my profits so far now, guys. I'm up 2,860 on my FTMO number 1, 2,060 on my FTMO number 2, 330 off my MFF number 1, 330 off my MFF number 2, and 430 profit on my MFF number 3. So all my accounts are in profit for the day. I did have that little hiccup earlier. It was due to the spread, slippage, etc. But price is pretty much just ranging right here. So that's the thing when you guys trade, guys, even if you're taking a risky trade, you got to be calm and composed. You guys saw me. I was in this position here. I was in some massive drawdown right here. Not massive, but I was in drawdown. I didn't really freak out, right? I was like, if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. And price ended up doing where I thought it was going to go, and I won. So I think that's the main thing with a lot of people. You guys have to be able to control your emotions, because I could have easily pulled out of this position right here. I could have freaked out, pulled out for a loss, but then I let the trade run and do what it was supposed to do, went straight to my TP. So whenever you guys enter a trade, understand that that trade isn't always going to hit. If it goes to your stop loss, then it goes to your stop loss. If it goes to your TP, then it goes to your TP. And that's how, you guys got to take these markets. I feel like a lot of people are too focused on having too many wins or too many losses that it affects your judgment when you guys are trading. Let's see. So David said, thanks for your analysis and experience. My challenge is still up and running. You rock, Sean. Definitely, David. So good luck to you. If you're done for the week, I'll see you back here on Monday. Dejan said, gonna take my profits for the weekend run. See you all on Monday. Got to study for finals week. Yeah, definitely, Dejan. Good luck on your finals. See you back here on Monday. So look at where price went. It just stopped everybody out, right? So if you guys remembered earlier, I mentioned that this is gonna be where the stop losses are being placed. Everyone who took these sells here just got stopped out. Or whoever entered right here on this top point. Sentiment hasn't really changed too much. Looks like there's a lot of people that are still in the sells. People are still trying to predict that top, which I don't think they're going to predict anytime soon. I think price may continue to push up a bit higher before it ends up actually coming down. So just be careful with your sells here, guys. If you guys are looking to take sells, I would just not take them, because you can see here price is now going on that stop loss hunt. Pretty much wiped out everybody from this area, and there's where liquidity was sitting too. Liquidity right there, and liquidity right there. So there goes that liquidity area right there where people got stopped out. And it looks like price may continue to push up even higher. All right, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. CJ City took a high-low scalp at 33.89, 896. Wrote it up to 34.077, made sure to use a trailing stop. Nice work, CJ. Yeah, so CJ actually took the, let's see. Yeah, he took the high-low scalp from down here. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with the high-low scalp strategy, this is actually a really good entry that CJ caught. It didn't close very clean, but it did close above the line right there. So let me put up the requirements for the high-low scalp. This is a different strategy from the high-low momentum, but high-low scalp right here. Confirm overall bias. Obviously, it was very bullish. This is a good strategy to use when the bias is very strong. So right now, it's very strong for a bullish bias. Confirm the previous high-low. There's a high-low right here. Confirm price break and close past it. This candle right here broke and closed past it. We had a bullish momentum right there. That was the entry. So right there, that's where CJ took his position. And you guys can see that it pushed up quite a bit from that point. Over 1,000 pips. So, as I mentioned before, guys, there's a lot of different strategies that you guys can apply. If you guys are new here and you guys want to learn these strategies, just pull up the course. Go on the website, kodikaitrades.com. Again, that's kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access right here. When you unlock your free access, you'll have access to the course videos right here. And then the strategy that I just showed you guys is under scalping strategies. It's the first one. It's called the K2 US30 high-low scalp strategy. That's one that was right here. That's one that CJ took and he wrote it up. So nice work right there, CJ. Catching that. So there's still no entries here for our high-low momentum scalp. I don't think we're going to get any today because the bias is so strong for a buy right now. And I don't think we're going to get any buys here because it's really hard for us to get that. Price is really just ranging right here. I mean, realistically, it's just a big range. Yeah. Here's a clean chart. Yeah, as you guys can see right here, so you can see that price just continues to fake out, right? So you get these big spikes right here. See this big red candle? What do you think that happened here? The reason why we had this big spike here is because the market makers are looking to lure in some more sellers, right? So let's take a look at sentiment again. Sentiment is back to 71%. What do you think is happening here? A lot of people are thinking that this is finally the top. I highly doubt it. I think price will continue pushing up. So this big red candle right here basically lured in some more sellers. It was at 70%. Now it's at 71. A lot of retail traders are just, hate to say it, but a lot of retail traders are just dumb, right? When they look at these like you guys got to use logic when you guys are trading. If retail traders are all looking to take sells here, and you guys can see the hints here, the market makers are literally luring in sellers here. They gave this big red candle and all the retail traders are like, oh, this is the drop. So they all enter some sells here. And then what happens? Price does the opposite and it pushes right back up. So if the retail traders are entering from there, where do you think their stop losses are at? Their stop losses are right here, right? Because if you enter a sell at this point, and I'll show you again, it's the same pattern I just showed you guys earlier. Like this is why I'm able to outsmart the market, because I know where retail traders are selling. If they're entering a sell right here, their stop loss is going to be right there, right? So in order for them to get stopped out, the market makers need to push price up there, which it's getting to that point, right? If you enter to sell right here off this candle, you're in a massive drawdown right here. And I think it's going to screw with people. I think this is what's going to happen. And I'm sure you guys have seen this before too. Price will pull up a little bit, go back into profit, go up a little bit, go back into profit, and then spike up and stop you out. And that's exactly what's going on right here. Look at these people get stopped out again. We're not in this. So we're not in the sell, guys. We definitely are not in the sell here. I'm just showing you what retail traders are doing. 71% short. If this goes down to 70%, what do you think happened to that 1%? They just got stopped out. So we'll see what happens here. If price reaches this point, I'd recommend you guys take a look at retail sentiment. So just wait for price to pass this point, look at retail sentiment, and I can almost guarantee you this number is going to drop. It's going to go from like 70, 71 to like 70, because that 1% that joined into those cells, they're going to get wiped out right here. It's like a little game, right? It's like a little puzzle, but like we're on the right side of the puzzle. You know, when you guys do puzzles, there's always traps, or if you're playing like something like chess, there's always traps that are being set up. You always got to be like 2 steps ahead of the game. And I have a lot of tools here that I use to be 2 steps ahead of the game, if not 3 steps. So I already know where the retail traders are trading, they're selling, and I know the market makers are doing the opposite. So we'll see where this ends up going. CJ said, I love that we have strategies for every situation. Yeah, exactly. I know we've been trading live for like, what, 5 or 7 years now? I think 5 years consistently. 7 years, I was probably trading like a couple days a week. But, you know, since we've been trading for so long, I've created strategies for literally every situation. So like if price is going sideways, we have the SR rejection scalp. If price is going directional, we have the high-low scalp, high-low momentum scalp, etc. So, you know, this is like a long time coming. Like we've been trading live for this specific reason, so that we can have a better idea as to like where price is going. So we'll see what happens here. I think price will continue to consolidate. I don't think the market makers are ready to stop people out yet. They can't just keep stopping people out, right? If they keep stopping people out, then nobody's going to enter the cells, right? In order for them to make money, they need price to be they need a lot of retail traders on one side. So looking at this right here, price is just going sideways. You can see a price got close to stop loss here. It didn't get to their stop losses, and then ended up coming back down to give these people some hope, right? They want the retail traders to stay in their trades. If they don't stay in their trades, then they're just not going to be able to make money that way. That's how the market makers and institutions make like the most money. So right here, this is fine. They're letting the retail traders have a little bit of a gimme. I call these gimmies because they're just letting them have like some profit here, some hope, and then eventually price is just eventually going to come right back up. So, you know, they got to let the retail traders win sometimes. So they're letting them win right here. And then eventually it's going to come right back up. And this would be the target price point to really pay attention to. Because I think once price breaks this area again, it might happen like in an hour or 2 hours from now. Once price breaks this area, I think it's going to continue up higher. But at the moment, they're just giving some retail traders here some hope. And you can see here, they're starting to pile up, right? Now it's 72%. People are basically bandwagoning onto this drop here. So we'll see where this ends up going. You just got to make sure that you're smart about it if you guys are looking to take any certain trades here. But there's nothing for us to take at the moment. Yeah, Nick said potential sells coming. We'll probably push down for a lower low. Yeah, exactly. So exactly what you just said right there, Nick. There goes lower low. So this might be the reversal back to the upside. I know, CC, right? That was Nick's asking if I'm going to take this. Well, not this specific entry right here. I mean, there's probably going to be a V2 variation coming up. I'm not going to take that one right now because I need some sort of better confirmation that price is actually going to correct back up. This can just be a possible, you know, temporary push up, and then it might just come back down further. Because target price point for me is going to be the sessions right here. I think this is where the bounce may happen. I'm not going to take this V2 right here. There's a V2 variation that's currently pending. 15 seconds left on it. In order for it to be a V2, this candle has to close as a strong green candle. So, I mean, I'll see if it closes, but I don't know if it's going to close. Okay, so this is a V2 variation right here. I'm not in the position, but Just wanted to show you guys V2 variation there. It's just too risky where it's currently at right now. I'm not really looking to take anything too risky. So it would have been a full TP. I don't know if you caught that, Nick, but you did feel good about it. And it did look like it was going to play out. I should have taken it, but it's all good. I think I'm kind of satisfied with my profits for the day. I don't want to over risk. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said it looked good. Nick said it looked good. I think it looked good. It was just this candle here didn't close. I was expecting it. So you can see right here, a lot of fake outs. If you guys enter that position, hopefully you pulled out with profit already. It's a V2 variation. If you guys are not familiar with that strategy, V2 variation right here. So confirm the overall bias, very strong bullish bias. Confirm high low, there's a low right there. Confirm the low is a red candle, low with the red candle right there. Fourth, confirm the candle following the high low is a strong candle. No wick on top for a buy. Strong candle right there. I mean, little to no wick. It doesn't have to be exactly no wick, but this is considered strong in my opinion. So all the criteria was met, V2 variation. Again, if you guys have access to the course, just go to the website, kodikaitrades.com, unlock your free access, go to the course. It's going to be right here under scalping strategies, KT US30 1 minute V2 strategy right here, variation V2. That's going to explain this specific strategy that I just mentioned. Yeah, Nick said had a feeling a spike to the downside was coming. Now we also need a new lower low since it hit pivots. Yeah, I didn't actually break and close above it, but you probably want another setup, Nick, because at this point now price is considered consolidating, right? The price kind of pushed up a little bit, pulled back down. It's just consolidating sideways. You want price to be an immediate push. So you want a lower low and you want like a straight push to the upside because you want that momentum. And then that's where you want to take your buy because you're going to expect it to push up higher. But where price is currently at right now, it's not really looking too good. Glenn's asking, was that speculative trade you just took? No, it wasn't well, I mean, it's considered speculative if it's not official in my, like how I consider it. So technically, yeah, I mean, you could call it speculative, but there's a strategy to it. I took it was a pivot scalp entry. That was right here. I think it was this one or this one of these that I took this one right here. So that was a pivot scalp entry, Glenn. It wasn't, I mean, there's a strategy for it. It just depends on how you classify speculative. Because speculative can mean two things. It's either not an official strategy or it's just not a strategy at all. But there was strategy there. It was a pivot scalp entry. Let's see, MC said a double body coming up. There's a double body, but there's no low there. So you need a low in order for it to be a double V1 variation. This is a high-low momentum scalp right here, guys. I mentioned I'm not going to take the trade because it was going sideways, but it did hit TP right there. Or it looks like it's going to, yeah. So if you guys took the high-low momentum right there, you know, great. I didn't take it, so it's not going to count as an official entry. I only count the trades that I actually take. It just didn't look like a good one to me because price consolidated here a bit. But if you're just to go by the strategy requirements, this is an actual entry. So I'll put up the high-low momentum scalp strategy right here. You guys can see a lot of these entries are hitting. It's just I'm not in the, I don't feel confident to take these trades here because of how price is currently moving. So identify the lower low right there. Identify valid momentum signal. There's a valid buy signal right here. Confirm price break and close past pivots 1 and or 2. This candle here broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2. And fourth, you could enter on the close of the valid momentum. So right there would be your entry. And it would have went straight to your TP right there. So if you guys caught it, great, but I did not. I didn't take it, so it's not going to count as an official trade. I should have taken these trades. There's like 2 trades here that came up, V2, full TP, high-low momentum scalp, but it's okay. I don't feel comfortable taking them, so that's why I'm not taking them. Let's see, question from Nick. Nick's asking if there's a triple confluence. I don't see any triple confluence here, Nick. Which one are you talking about? 743? No, so price needs to break and close past the high-low. There's no high-low right here. It's a buy signal, but there's no high-low, so there's no triple confluence. So there need to, like, the candle would need to break and close past the high-low. There's no examples. Yeah, I was going to show you an example, but the triple confluence barely comes up. It doesn't come up too often. Nick said you're right, though it closed past the area above it. Oh, you thought it closed? Yeah, no. I think this was a high right here, right? That's what you're referring to. I mean, yeah, let me rewind it. Actually, there's no high here. So the high has been up here, Nick. So in order for it to be a triple confluence, it would need to push like way up here. There's no highs around this area. I don't think price is there yet. Yeah, it's not there yet. I mean, it would have been nice. Looks like it could have been if this, because this looked like it would have been a high, but since there was no high there, yeah. But it could have been if it did push up that high and there was a level right there. That's why it's hard for you, Nick, because like you don't have the indicators. I know it's hard for you to follow. I know we talked about this. That's why the indicators make a huge difference. Because, like for example, right here, I would have maybe have thought of this to be a high, but there actually was no high there. Let me scroll up real quick. Maria said that's enough for me. See you guys on Monday. Thanks, Sean, for your knowledge. Definitely, Maria. We'll see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. All right, so there's nothing for us to take right here, guys. It's 7:46. I was really hoping we get at least one official trade. I know this here was an official trade, but it didn't fit criteria, so there was nothing for us to take. It's just considered too risky for us. This would have been the official trade for the day, but unfortunately, I didn't take it. I think the candle was too big anyways. Yeah, the candle was too big. So there's a lot of reasons why I would have skipped this entry right here. For one, the candle was too big. I would have waited for a retracement, but that would have been too late because this candle never retraced, went straight to TP. And then on top of that, it just was consolidating prior. So either way, I wouldn't have taken this trade here, even if it was valid. All right, price is pushing up. Again, as I mentioned, guys, look for this area right here. It looks like a lot of these sellers are starting to get stopped out. See, it's 71% short. So keep an eye out, guys. If this goes to 70 and price reaches this point right here, you already know what happened. Everybody got stopped out. So I'm looking for a lot of areas here. So this is liquidity. Let me mark up liquidity real quick. There's a nice area of liquidity right here. So I think if price reaches this point or around this point right here, I think price may push up higher around that area. This is going to be considered liquidity for me. So we'll see where this ends up going. Yeah, price pushes up higher. I think it's going to be an area of liquidity. So I think if this happens right here, it's going to go on a stop loss hunt. It's going to wipe everybody out. 71% short. Maddie says sellers are punching their screens right now. Yeah, don't be on that side of the market, guys. There goes liquidity right there. See, it pushes up higher to stop everybody out. All right, let's see where it's at. So it's wiping everybody out right there. All right, I caught the liquidity right there. I just had a buy stop right there. I said a buy stop. Fuck, I should have held on to it. It's all good. So I just closed it manually. I had a buy stop right here because I already told you guys this was going to happen. Everyone's getting stopped out right now. Shit, I should have held on to it. It's all good. So I marked up this liquidity. I told you guys this was going to happen, right? It did exactly that. Let's take a look at sentiment. Everyone's getting wiped out right now. So it's still at 71. Damn, I should have just held on to it. I made like way more. It's all good though. All right, so I made some pretty good profit on there. Not a crazy amount, but I did make pretty decent. Let me see. I'll mark it up. Just screenshot it. See it, like everybody's getting wiped out. This is crazy. I mean, it's not crazy because I told you guys this was going to happen like an hour ago. I said everybody here who my mouse is dying. 1 second, guys. I got to plug in my mouse. Yeah, mouse is all screwed up. You guys can see my mouse is kind of laggy. Yeah, liquidity pushed up super nice right there. So Yeah, they're getting stopped out. Whoever is like on the sells. This is why I was telling you guys not to take any sells or just to be careful for it. Yeah, liquidity right there got knocked out. Here are my profits. Let me use my other trackpad. All right, so I might be a little slower right now, guys. I have to use my mouse is being whack. Let's turn it off. All right, so you can see over here, or actually I didn't even post it yet. I hate this trackpad. It's hard to use. All right, so I got 3,700 on my FTMO number 1, 3,100 on my FTMO number 2, 970 on my MFF number 1, 970 on my MFF number 2, and 1,070 on my MFF number 3. Here's some profits from you guys over here so far. Johnny over here took the buy earlier, total profit of 1,170 for the day. Nice work, Johnny. So I got to save that. Let's see, got that B2 earlier that played out right here. Then here's another entry. Nice. So Johnny, you're really picking up. So nice work right here from Johnny. If you guys have seen Johnny, he's been pretty active in the chat lately, sharing his trades. He's been active on social media. He's really understanding the strategies now. So he's really taking off with these entries. He took another high-low momentum. He took the trade that I actually skipped right here. Johnny took that for a full TP, total profit of 2,240 for the day. So nice work right there, Johnny. Great work. You know, Johnny's been working at this for a while now, and it's really starting to click for him. So he's applying a lot of these strategies here, basically off my analysis. One official strategy here from the high-level momentum scalping all hit. Here's Sam as well. Sam locked in a total profit of 1,130 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Sam. Looks like he took those two buys as well, the same ones that we just mentioned, the either the V2 variation and the high-level momentum scalp. So there's my profits right there. Here's Christian, total profit of 1,175 for the day, all wins. Took a couple trades. Nice work, Christian, all buys. So Christian was smart about it. He didn't take any sells and played out for him perfectly, right? Like if the bias is this strong, guys, you can take buys and just hold on to it. Like you literally hold on to it. It's going to hit your TP by the end of the day. You know, it's just being smart about these positions here. That's why I didn't take any sells. I knew this was going to happen. So I wasn't going to get caught in this trap. You know, I've been burnt enough times trading in my lifetime where I don't get caught in these traps anymore. Let's see some more profits over here from Eunice. Eunice took that liquidity push with me as well. Total profit of 159 for the day and 51 cents. All wins. Nice work, Eunice. So great work right there. Nelly over here as well. Total profit. Nelly made some pretty good profit here. He got slippage on his MFF. Total profit of 532 on this account. And then here is Nelly's second account, total profit of 1,211, all wins. Nice work, Nelly. And then he has his third trade over here. He said price kept hitting his TP, but not pulling him out, so he closed out manually. Total profit of 1,652 for the day. Great work, Nelly. So it looks like a lot of you guys here did really good. I see a lot of you guys here have straight wins. A lot of you guys listened to my analysis and you stuck to buys. So it's pretty solid there, guys. Everyone here stuck to the buys and you guys, all your TPs got hit. Chow over here as well. Chow initially was up 680, all wins. So great work right there. You guys paid attention to my warnings. Chow over here, 4 wins back to back, all wins. Total profit of 1,760 for the day. Nice work, Chow. And then his he said he should have held as well. Yeah, so he should have held that liquidity push. Total profit of 2,660 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Chow. Yeah, so you guys are all killing it today. I mean, everybody should have at least some profit today. If you guys took any of the analysis that I mentioned or any of the trades that I mentioned, you should have locked in at least 1 or 2 trades. David over here, total profit of 19 for the day, all wins. Nice work, David. And Patricia over here with a total profit of 10,600 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Patricia. Yeah, great wins right there. Looks like all your wins are above average. Earlier trades over here, looks like you might have pulled out a little early. These over here went straight to TP, if not farther. So solid work right there, Patricia. Great job holding it. Looks like you listened to my analysis and you held on to those buys. Played out perfect for you. 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. Did pretty good. Here's Kenny over here. Kenny locked in a total profit of 460 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. We have CERN over here, total profit. Sorry, guys. I know some of you guys get annoyed when I cover everyone's profits, but there's a lot of people here profiting. I'm just not trying to not trying to avoid anybody. But a lot of you guys here posted some profits, and don't worry because we're not missing anything. There's no entries for us to take here. So you guys are not missing out on any entries. I know some of you guys get annoyed when I just cover everyone's profits, but there's a lot of people here who are profiting. It's not just like a handful, there's a lot of people here. So CERN over here, his first account total profit of 1,384 for the day, all wins. And then CERN's second account total profit of 1,436 for the day, all wins as well. So great work right there, CERN. Patrick Stevens over here got the live late today, heard my analysis for the liquidity push and made some quick profit. Total profit of 4,372 for the day on Patrick. So nice work right there, Patrick. Nice. Looks like you upped your lot size like me. So you're doing pretty good, making double your profit. Typically, Patrick's making like 1,000. He upped his lot size, I can see. Locking a total profit of 4,000 for the day. So great work right there, guys. Here's Alexander. So thank you for keeping us on the right side. Total profit of 1,510 for the day. Nice work, Alexander. It looks like you took a sell here, but you pulled out a little early. Oh, your stop loss, you made stop loss and profit. So yeah, these red strips right here, whenever you guys see a red strip here and they made profit, typically that person moved their stop loss and profit, which was a smart move because you would have gotten caught on the wrong side, Alexander. Total profit of 1,511, all wins. So great work, guys. And then Andy over here with a total profit of 696. Oh man, it's unfortunate. Looking at Andy's trades over here, he would have like did pretty good, but he took the sell right there at 657. That's kind of where he got caught. It's all good. I mean, it happens, but yeah, if you would have kept away from the sells, you would have had straight wins. You probably should have taken a buy right there, but it's all good. You bounced right back from that loss and you made it right back. Total profit of 696. Main key for the day, guys, is to, or main key for in general with trading is to close out in profit. You know, don't give away profits. If you guys are have a goal in mind, just close out each day in profit. That's all you have to aim for. If you can close every day in profit, then it's inevitable that you'll be profitable, you know, with time. Let's see if my mouse is working again. Okay, perfect. My mouse is good now. New higher high right there. Price is coming back down. Profits here from CSUP, total profit of 2,330. Nice work, CSUP. Some more profits over here from CSUP, total profit of 3,226. And then lastly, over here, CSUP again, total profit of 4,576 on his other account. Nice work, CSUP. All right, guys, solid profits there. Let me see if there's any other questions here before we wrap it up. It's about to be 8 o'clock. Let's see. City said 0.1 lot made 931, but it's profit. Thanks for the session. Yeah, City, profit's profit, man. Doesn't matter if you guys are making $10, $100, $1,000. You know, profit's profit. You guys are doing better than the majority of other people out there. So just keep that in mind. You know, stay profitable and just stay consistent. Let's take a look at sentiment. Damn, it's crazy. So a lot of people are still looking to catch for that drop right here. You can see the number just keeps increasing. So it's 72% short right now. Price is probably going to bounce off this area and shoot right back up. You can see that the market makers are really playing with the retail traders right now. They'll drop price a little bit to lure in some sellers, spike price up, drop it back down, spike it right back up. It's just the same process over and over again. All right, let me check the chat real quick, see if I'm missing anything else here. Mohammed's asking, hello, Sean, market sentiment. When do you follow retail traders if it's 90% above? I don't think it'll ever be 90% above. That's like way too many people on one side, but I never follow retail traders. I always do the opposite. So yeah, I probably will never follow retail traders. You know, if you like search up the profitability of retail traders, Mohammed, about like less than 10% are profitable. So it like literally makes no sense to follow them, in my personal opinion. So I just want to make sure that you understand that, because I would never go in the direction of retail traders. It just doesn't make sense to me to go in their direction. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Yeah, no problem, Mohammed. I mean, you can go with retail traders, but I would, if you ever do go with retail traders, Mohammed, I would recommend going with them short term. So don't hold on to their trades for too long. I would recommend probably going short term if you ever do decide to take any of their trades. Because yeah, the market will probably go in the direction of retail traders temporarily, but they're not going to go like not long term, because the market makers won't make money that way. You know, you gotta think of it from their perspective. You know, in order for them to make money, they need to stop out certain traders, which are the retail, of course. All right, I'm just screenshotting my individual profits right here real quick, guys, so that you guys can see my accounts. And then we'll wrap this up. So price is starting to drop heavy right now. I think right now they're probably they're gonna lure in some more retail traders, and then eventually they'll price spike price right back up. So I probably wouldn't recommend chasing it. Target price point right here, which what I would expect would be the sessions down here. Price might come down and then bounce off the sessions right there. So the volatility's picked up quite a bit. I think there's news right now at 8 o'clock too. Let's see. Yeah, there's news right here. It's Canadian news, so it's not really going to affect us too much, but it is Canadian news. All right, so let me go ahead and post up my individual profits. If you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to let me know and I can answer them. But let me just post up my profits real quick so that you guys can see what I did for the day. Mohammed said, "Thank you, brother, every day for this live stream, getting knowledge and appreciate it." Yeah, no, definitely, Mohammed. You know, I'm here to help you guys out. So if you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to put whatever questions you guys have in the chat. I've been trading for a long time, so I've pretty much run into a lot of these issues, and I like helping you guys out because when I help you guys out, it also helps me because it reinforces my knowledge. I've been trading for like 10 years now, but I still run into the same issues. There's a V1 variation coming up right here. But yeah, I've been trading for a long time, so a lot of this stuff just helps me. It kind of forces me to remember like stuff that I've learned in the past. So it just makes me a better trader. So I'm here to help you guys out. You know, it's beneficial for me just as much as it is for you guys. Let me scroll up real quick, see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. I probably would avoid, I wouldn't take this V1 variation, guys, because it's right at the sessions. If you guys remember the strategy, we typically don't take trades around this area. It's a red flag, but bounce here might happen. So I'll follow it. I'm not going to take the trade, but I'll follow it. So I'm not in this position, guys, just marking up for you guys so that you guys can see how it plays out. I think it'll play out, but I think it's a little risky because it's right at the sessions. This is an area of manipulation. So I'll show you guys real quick on a clean chart over here. And I'll pull up the, let me just clean it up a little bit. Let me turn on the sessions over here. You guys can see that this is an area of manipulation around this, like basically this entire area. So you can see right here, price gets around the sessions right here. It fakes out again down here, and then it shoots all the way back up, right? So it's an area of manipulation. You guys can see over here from this purple line too. When price gets near this purple line, it just bounces back and forth, right? It's an area of manipulation. So typically, I don't like trading around these areas. Whenever price gets near any of these horizontal lines, just turn on your sessions indicator. It'll show you where manipulation tends to happen around these areas here. So the trade's probably going to play out, but it's just a little too risky. It's not something I would necessarily want to risk. And it did right there. I went straight to TP. So see how it faked out right here? You probably would have been sweating because you would have went into some drawdown right here, but then price eventually did shoot up and hit your TP. So the strategy works. It's just, this is not for the faint of heart. If you guys get stressed out about your positions, you'd probably be super stressed out in this position right here because it did pull back into drawdown, but eventually it did shoot back up in a profit. So it's unnecessary stress on a Friday, right? Go enjoy your weekend, guys. No need to stress out taking these trades that you don't really need to take. But you guys can see that the strategy does work out fine. All right, let me check the chat real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything, and then we will wrap this up for the day and for the week. So let me scroll up real quick. Let's see. Johnny said for the entry for liquidity, was it strategy or just entry for momentum? So for the liquidity strategy, Johnny, it's not necessarily, I mean, there's an actual strategy to it, but it's not based off any of the signals. So like, for example, here, I'm going to show you another area or the same area that we identified for liquidity here. So the reason why we identify this as liquidity is because so price was coming down, but we knew market was going to go up, right? The reason we knew market was going to go up is because of the overall bias. Fundamentals are up super high. They're up above like, you see, they're not up anymore, but they were. They're up 70 points. So we're up like over 100 points plus retail sentiment here was super strong. So we knew price had to go up eventually, right? We have everything pointing towards the buy side, but price was coming down. So what I do here is I mark up these highs because I know where people are placing their stop losses. If all the stop losses are on this area, that's what we consider liquidity. Because when these stop losses get hit, say they're in a sell order, right? When a stop loss gets hit, the trade has to shift to a buy. So what happens is there's a bunch of sell orders that are currently running. And then as soon as price reaches this area, buy orders get triggered. So when buy orders get triggered, it creates liquidity and it just pushes up very high. So that's why I took that trade right there for the buy. So I use a high-low indicator to identify liquidity. Everyone got stopped out right here and price pushed up higher. So there is a strategy to it. I just don't teach it to people because it's a very risky strategy. Unless you know how to really identify these things, it can either end up really good or end up really bad. So I don't really teach that. This is more of an advanced way to trade. A lot of the older members in the group know this strategy because I used to apply this a lot. I still apply it sometimes. They're all speculative. But I don't really teach it to people because it can be very lucrative, but can also be very risky. Like there's another liquidity push right here. Let me show you again. So again, right here, you can see that I established these lows right here because you can trade both directions. Like for example, here, price is pushing up, right? And I mentioned that price was due for retracement. So whoever's entering buys right here, their stop losses are on this area. So when price passes through here, it's going to establish liquidity again, right? Price blasted right through it, went through a stop loss hunt, stop losses just got triggered, and it pushed down even lower. So liquidity works in both directions if you guys know how to trade it, but it's not for beginners. It's definitely a more advanced way of trading. I think I covered it in like last week's mentoring session. So if you want to review that, Johnny, I think you were in that mentoring session. I think it was like 2 weeks ago or last week. I covered the liquidity strategy there. It's a lucrative strategy if you know how to do it properly, but majority of people are not going to do it properly because it's not that easy to apply. You have to actually know how to read the charts and make adjustments when necessary. So let me scroll down real quick. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Madhu said it would be crazy to take entry on the 5 minute. Oh yeah, no, it looks like it already blasted right through it, right? Madhu, I saw you just, you answered your own question right after it played out. I mean, there's a V1 variation that's playing out right here. So this may be the continuation to the upside. Yeah, I think this would be, I mean, I'm not going to take it, but because the candle is huge. But so if you look at this here, there's a V1 variation right here. On the 5, there's also a V1 variation on the 10. So this is probably going to push up from where it's currently at. There's a V1 variation here on the 5. Let me just, I use this tool over here to mark it up on all the charts. So there's a V1 variation right here. It actually lines up. So if you look over here, there's a V1 variation on the 1, V1 variation on the 5, V1 variation on the 10, and a V1 variation. Well, not really a V1, but it's a double body. So you get one over here. There's a double body on the 30, double body on the 5, 1, 10, and that's it. So you got a V1 variation on all these time frames. So odds of it pushing up are probably pretty likely, especially with the sentiment so high. But I would probably be careful because I don't know. The market's going to do whatever it wants at this moment. It's past 8 o'clock. So this is why you want to be careful because you might get that mid-market reversal. So it's still 71% short, but you do have that V1 variation on, or I'll say V1 variation on the 5, but basically double body on the 10, double body on the 30. You know, it's probably going to push up. You got about 18 seconds left on this candle. Also, the candle's huge. So I'll probably push up like 500 pips or so. So I'll leave that there. If you guys want to follow it, feel free. I'm not going to take the trade though. I'm done for the day. It's Friday. I don't want to throw away any of my profits that I already made, but you can see right there, price is pushing up pretty nicely from where it's currently at. It's doing kind of what we expected. It might even retrace down a little bit before it pushes up, but I think eventually it'll push up. You need a pretty decent range to withstand whatever is going to happen right here, because the 5 minutes a bigger time frame. Let me scroll down real quick, see if I missed anything else. All right, Patricia, we'll see you back here on Monday. So I'll see you then. Thanks, CJ. So Johnny, if you want to look at the liquidity video that I mentioned, I'll put that on my notes too, so I can remember that. Thanks, CJ, for letting me know. I covered the liquidity pushes on 418. So if you look at the mentoring session from April 18, I covered it there. All right, so as you guys can see, price is pushing up like we anticipated right there on the 5. Looks like it'll keep pushing up from where it's currently at, but we'll see. But yeah, the V1 variation there is pushing up, and that's kind of like what we anticipated. But as I mentioned, I'm not going to trade anymore from here. All right, Tom, we'll see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. Nick over here took a quick trade too. All right, solid, guys. All right, guys, so I think that's all the questions from today. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. You guys can email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com, or you guys can message me on Telegram. Here's some more profits from Barack. One last push right here before we wrap it up. Barack over here said he's officially done, good for the week. Thank you, Sean, for been trading. Nice. Yeah, so Barack over here, total profit of 23,000. That's crazy. So might be a record for you right there, Barack. So yeah, Barack right there killed it, pretty much locked in some pretty massive profits. Let me see what else. Yes, 23,000 right. That's crazy. I'll just save this one. There's no point in me going back and saving the other ones, because this one has the most profit. So I'll just save that one right there. We have Chow over here, total profit of 4,480 for the day. Nice work, Chow. Right there, all wins. Solid work. And then we have Aiden over here, total profit. Pretty good for the past 2 days. Brought my account out of the negative. Finally passed for FT1 free trial. Nice. So that's key right there. The recovery right there on the account is key, because that's going to happen. You're going to get into drawdown sometimes. The key part is that you're able to bounce back and make your way back into profit. So solid profit right there, 6,690 for the day. And then back into profit on your account. So nice work right there, Aiden. And I think that's about it. So here are the profits across all my accounts. I didn't go over them yet. So here's my main account, total profit of 3,700 for the day, all wins. Here is my FT1 number 2, total profit of 3,100 for the day, all wins as well. Here's my MFF. You guys can see I had a small loss on open. That was like that first trade that just kind of some slippage hit me and it knocked me out. But other than that, everything else is pretty much good. So straight profits across all my accounts, 970 on MFF number 1, 970 on MFF number 2, and 1,070 on my MFF number 3. So solid profits all around. And I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up for the week. No need to take anything unnecessary for the day. So if you guys are good for the day, I just wrap it up, call it a week. Come back on Monday fresh, and we'll be back here for the next live trading session. I think next week is going to be May already, right? So it's going to be the first of the month. So again, another risky day to trade, but we'll try to use that to our advantage. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys